Okay, folks, hello. This is Rick Dehijo Binya of Sovereign Love Free Church and Sovereign Love University. This is not my latest show, but it is a side show, a quick little educational snippet. What you're seeing on your screen is news that went out on the news cycle a couple days ago. Boy, it's been just 2 or 3 days anyway. And as you can see, it's about Christian women facing jail time for being Christian, or at least that's the way it's proposed here. Now, this lady, in a moment, she's going to explain what happened, and I'm going to come back and explain to you basically what actually happened in this case and why these women may or may not have a problem. We'll see. Let's get to the video real quick here.
Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. 2 Christian women are facing jail time in Arizona for being Christian and living their Christian beliefs. These 2 women could be thrown in jail because they declined to participate in a gay wedding ceremony, since gay marriage violates their Christian beliefs. The city of Phoenix says that Christian belief is against the law. The women's names are Joanna Duca and Brianna Koski, and they own an art studio in Phoenix, a calligraphy studio, where they create custom invitations for events such as weddings. But their names and what they do almost doesn't matter here, because these 2 women could be any one of us. They could be you, they could be me, they could be any one of the 173 million Christian adults living in our country, in the United States. Christians who are now under attack by the government for living their Christian faith. The law in the city of Phoenix that could send these women to jail is called an anti-discrimination ordinance, and it says business owners can't discriminate against gay people. And that's all good and well, but that's not what's happening with these 2 women. Nobody is turning gay people away from the store for being gay. A gay man did not walk into the shop and the owner said, "Oh, sorry, sir, you can't buy anything here because we hate your sexual orientation." Not at all. In fact, the owners of the studio say they're happy to serve gay customers, and gay customers can buy anything in their store. But it's a very, very different thing for the government to force these women to participate in a gay wedding, since gay marriage violates their Christian beliefs. That's what's at stake here. These women use their talents and their skills to create artwork, expression in the form of these invitations, and they don't want to use their artwork to celebrate something that is against their religion. That has nothing to do with discriminating against a gay person for being gay. That's simply the right of these Christians to live their lives according to their Christian morals. It boils down to this. Can the government compel speech from these women? Can the government throw these women in jail if they refuse to speak, refuse to participate in something against their religion? Can the government throw these women in jail for being Christian? A judge ruling on this case, Judge Karen Mullins of the Maricopa County Superior Court, said it didn't matter that this Phoenix law compels speech, allows government to force citizens to say things the citizens don't want to say. The judge said this kind of speech doesn't count, it's not protected, because it's not, quote, expressive speech. I'm sorry, have you read the First Amendment? Is there an exception for certain kinds of speech that aren't protected? The answer to that is no. This is the First Amendment, and I quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech." Our Constitution doesn't say no abridging of expressive speech. It says no abridging the freedom of speech. But that's what's happening to these women in Arizona. That's what's happening to these Christian women because they're Christian. And it could happen to the rest of us next, unless we call it out and put a stop to it.
Okay, well, okay, here's the issue. First of all, Liz Wheeler is obviously, claiming to be a born again Christian, and I have no reason to doubt her whatsoever. In fact, I don't want to doubt her whatsoever. I'm cool with the fact that she's, standing up for Christians. But what I have a problem with here is she doesn't seem to be understanding a very simple, very organizational, foundational concept. And that is that these women, although they are Christians, they subjected themselves to a law that may be antithetical to their faith by registering their business in Babylon. When they registered their business in Babylon, they basically said, I forego all of my rights and liberties as a Christian under the First Amendment, and I accept whatever statute that you decide that you're going to start to enforce. That's really what they did. It's another case of being destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We're not understanding what it's going to take to turn this around. This is not about the Supreme Court ruling favorably for Christians. These Christians subjected themselves to a rule, and they placed the rule above the Constitution. You see, the Constitution is a completely different document. The Constitution is not the document that rules all registered public entities. The Constitution rules over public officers whom we, the people, elect, not corporate fictions. Okay? What I'm trying to tell you is there are two separate laws in effect here, and this is all about the law of agency. These ladies, they didn't know it. They're doing it out of complete ignorance. They have basically registered themselves as agents of the state, and they have to obey the laws of the state because they have registered themselves as agents. If you were a king, okay, and someone came to you and said, I want to perform as your agent, O king, and you sent them out to do your business, and they decided to, instead of ruling or instead of following your law, they decided to follow the law of a different god, of a different king, how would you treat it? It's the same thing. Until we begin to understand what is actually happening here, this is not an assault against Christianity. This is not an assault against Christians. This is simply enforcing the law of registration, the law of agency. That's all they're doing. They're really doing nothing wrong, and that's why God's not striking them dead with lightning. I mean, come on, let's be honest, guys. Haven't you ever asked the question? I mean, I've asked the question before, why isn't God doing anything about this? Why isn't, I hear it all the time. I faced this a long time ago. I answered that question for myself. What interest does God have in it? Yeah, they're Christians, but they subjected themselves. They fettered themselves to a system that they chose to serve. Unknowingly, yes. Unknowingly, deceptively, they didn't understand they had a choice. I get that. But it is what it is. And now it's time to pay the piper. And it's time for all of us who are Christians, who are born again, who are disciples, who are ambassadors of Christ, who are new creations in Christ, who are reconcilers, okay, who are overcomers, all the different adjectives we can use to specify who we are in Christ. It is time for us to come out of her and to organize ourselves correctly so that we can benefit from the Constitution and its amendments, the Bill of Rights. We can benefit from them only if we're in the right capacity. Placing ourselves in a public capacity under statutes does not give us the right to enforce the Constitution. We have to be in a private capacity to enforce the Constitution because the Constitution is a private document. It's for the private. Only privateers can enforce the document. That's why your sheriffs, all around this nation, they got these organizations, Constitutional Sheriff's Organization. Yeah, what does that even mean? These guys are beholden to the court, and the court is beholden to the United States Corporation, which is all the registered instrumentalities, all the political subdivisions of the corporate United States. Your sheriff's not out there to serve you. And I'm not dissing the sheriff. Hey, he's doing his job. He's out there to serve the system because that's what he works for. It's what he gets paid by. Let's be honest, guys. The reason why these women are facing jail time, these precious, beautiful servants and saints of God, the reason they're serving jail time or facing jail time is because they lacked the understanding. That's what we're here for. We're here to give understanding and to teach people how to organize themselves properly in Christ. In fact, we're doing it. I'm in the midst of it right now. Some of us have already ratified it. We're already going and moving and shaking. Okay? Now, I'm dedicating this to you, the people, my friends, my Christian friends who need to come out and need to organize properly. Recognize it. Look at it and see it. Okay? Ms. Wheeler, she's seeing this all completely wrong. She's not understanding the actual the actual matrix of this. She's not seeing the point of no return that people enter into when they register their talents to the beast. When you register your talents to the beast, you're an agent of the beast, and the beast controls you. The beast can say whether you need to participate in a gay marriage. But when you're an agent of Christ and you've organized yourself under Christ, you can say, hey, no, I can't do that. And there's nothing the world can do about it. Be ye wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Let's go, guys. This is Rick DeHijo Binyah. This has been another tidbit, educational tidbit, and I hope you all have a blessed day. God bless. Pray for America. We got a lot of reorganization to do. Be blessed. Good night.